I love how large content creators will make videos talking about you without actually saying your name. I'm the genius you kept talking about in your videos. Well, I'm about to debunk your video point by point.
Doesn't? What the? Dude, it takes the whole fucking Justice League to beat Doomsday.
I mean, it took the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the entirety of the X-Men, Doctor Strange while channeling the powers of an interdimensional demon, and a literal Superman-esque character to stop the Hulk. And they didn't even stop him. I literally told them to drain off his gamma radiation before he destroyed the world. And then it was proven on 3 separate occasions that he held back against everyone. So unlike Doomsday, this is a character who has never died in comics. Until the Immortal Hulk, only to show the fact that if he is killed, he will immediately come back. Unlike Doomsday, which could take anywhere from a day to 1,000 years, but we both knew that now, didn't we?
And a ridiculous amount of moments where Doomsday has killed Superman, beat the shit out of the Justice League, scared the shit out of Darkseid. I'm pretty sure he broke out of the Phantom Zone. Did I say broke through the Phantom Zone? No. What I meant to say was broke the Phantom.
That is impressive. Being able to scare Darkseid. Nice. Not as nice as the literal second strongest being in Marvel at the time, comparing the Hulk to himself, but nice. Breaking the Phantom Zone. Nice. Not as impressive as destroying the Nightmare's dimension, punching through reality, punching so hard that it illuminates entire universes, destroying dimensions, or punching through time. Twice. Even though, the Hulk had chrono metal to do it the first time.
Now, this whole Hulk thing began with some genius trying to say that Hulk could react to Wally West.
It's me, guys. I'm the genius he's talking about. Now, see, the funny thing is, guys, is I have an entire playlist called Hulk versus Wally West. And I broke down point for point why I feel like the Hulk in character could tag Wally West, especially having access to Worldbreaker. And seeing as how the Hulk has limitless speed, his speed does not have a cap, that yeah, he actually and absolutely could react to Wally West. But notice, since he said he's seen the video, how he just resorted to name calling instead of actually debunking that video. I do appreciate you calling me a genius when it comes to this Hulk business, though. Thank you.
I've ever seen in my life. He then tried to bring up crossover comics, which I looked up have, due to frickin' Dark Crisis comics, been technically considered canon.
Man, I was hoping to be able to do this in one part, but we definitely gonna need a part 2. Alright, we back to it.
He then tried to bring up crossover comics, which I looked up have, due to frickin' Dark Crisis comics, been technically considered canon. Not including amalgamation comics, where Hulk and Superman fought, and Superman beat his ass.
You say this as if I've never said if Superman came in with everything he had right off the jump, that he couldn't take out the Hulk, which is exactly what he did in that fight. So you're really just confirming something that I've always said, but continue.
Second time they fought, Superman called him fast, yeah, yet Superman is the same guy that got dusted by Wally West and Barry.
And your point is, I don't give a fuck who Superman has gotten dusted by. The point that I was trying to make was that this was an old Hulk, old classic Hulk. So the fact that Superman could notice his speed while the Hulk is still not even incredibly angry means something. Because since we know that the Hulk's speed does not have a cap, it's written in his character that he would infinitely get faster, which would mean even in time, the Hulk would be faster than Superman. Since with the exception of him currently with that new issue that dropped, Superman just did not have the ability to infinitely increase his speed. Because if he did, then he wouldn't get dusted by characters like Wally and Barry.
Like, getting an old character statement from Superman saying that he found Hulk's movements to be quite fast literally doesn't mean shit when the guy we're initially comparing Hulk to is so much faster than Superman, it's not even funny.
It really seems like you don't know how the Hulk's powers work, but okay.
That scan that frickin' the Flash got hit by Mongo, they're like, oh yeah? So let me get this straight. Mongo can react to Flash, but Hulk can't. Yes, because Mongo has consistency fighting the likes of Superman, who is faster than Hulk.
Hi, I was the guy who left that comment, by the way. So let me get this straight. You're only justification for Mongol being faster than the Hulk is because he can fight Superman? That's the only thing you got is because he can fight Superman. I mean, it's almost like you don't know that the Hulk has faster than a light reaction time. It's almost like you don't know that the Hulk has been able to speed blitz people like Gladiator and also beat the dog shit out of him. And that man can move at attoseconds at combat speed. Being able to catch a speeding Silver Surfer. Being able to dodge and react to Mjolnir, which can go from one end of the universe and back in 60 seconds. But okay, go on.
That far behind. And there's literally a statement where he says, I couldn't huff, as in he's out of breath kind of panting.
Notice how Superman's statements when it comes to the Hulk don't mean shit, but Superman's statements when it comes to the speed of the Flash do. Hypocrisy. Part 3 coming up. Alright, we back to it. What up, guys? We back with part 3 of this utter destruction of Zed the Undead 1. Let's get into it.
So the bottom line of this whole thing is that Hulk can't react to Wally. Mongol is objectively faster, smarter, and you can argue stronger than Hulk. And Doomsday puts Hulk in a fucking casket. Oh, one more thing, Mongol hit Barry, not Wally.
Now, did you guys notice how at no point in his video did he bring up better feats that Doomsday has than the Hulk? Because if we were to look at them feat for feat, not even including things like the World Breaker Hulk and the current Hulk ship Enterprise, the Hulk pound for pound has better feats all around than Doomsday. And the only reason that people say that Doomsday has better feats is because he has been able to defeat Superman. This man said that this man said that fucking Mongol was stronger than the Hulk. I just have one question. Has Mongol's strength been able to be half the power needed to destroy entire realms, dimensions, and universes on multiple occasions? Has the second most powerful character in the entirety of DC Comics compared Mongol's power to his own in the fact that it was limitless? Is Mongol the literal personification and avatar of destruction for the one above all, or in DC, the presence? Because I don't think he is. Smarter than the Hulk? Yeah, certain iterations, I'd give you that. Hulk's like Doc Green, Professor Hulk, the current Hulk? No, absolutely not. That's funny though. At the end of the day, man, you didn't really bring up anything that would back up anything that you're saying. You just threw your opinion around without having any facts to back that up. At the end of the day, the Hulk has better feats than Mongol. The Hulk has better feats than Doomsday. And again, when we look at the fact that the Hulk speed is infinite, it does not have a cap, and the fact that he's been able to react attosecond and plank second time, people like the Sentry, Gladiator, Hyperion, Silver Surfer, Thor, Ares the God of War, Hercules, and has beaten everyone I just mentioned. And these were in a form that isn't even his most powerful, most durable, and quickest form, i.e. the World Breaker or Heart of the Monster. You saying that he can't react to the Flash solely because you feel like it is not based in reality. When I have feats, facts, and scans that would show that yes, depending on how angry the Hulk is, absolutely he can react to the Flash. Again, I haven't even talked about his current version at all. And for the record, my Hulk versus the Flash video was an in-character battle, and nobody has still told me how Wally defeats the Hulk without going back in time. So I don't know, talk less, research more. You guys will never get tired of this talking before you research thing, will you? Because in my comparison, my Hulk versus Wally West playlist, I was absolutely comparing Wally West to Base Hulk. But see, the thing about Base Hulk is Base Hulk only stays Base Hulk for as long as it takes him to turn into the Hulk. The second he starts getting angry, frustrated, or any of that shit, he starts getting stronger. And because that's how his powers work, eventually he will get to World Breaker. So, you know, let's talk more research. And as far as Thor and Gladiator and Hyperion and etc., at no point in any video that I have ever made have I said that they are half as fast as Wally. Never said that. Never, not once. I'm saying that attosecond speeds is something that Wally can comfortably react in. Yeah? And what I'm also saying is that Hulk can also comfortably react in those speeds, while he is not in forms as powerful Green Scar, the World War Hulk, the World Breaker, Heart of the Monster, the Hulk Ship Enterprise, etc. So at no point did I make the comparison in their speed to suggest that any of them are as fast as Wally or Barry or any other Flash. I've never said that. But considering that a lot of the Flashes can comfortably react within plank second, attosecond time, just like a lot of these guys can, and the Hulk can tag and beat they asses, it would make sense to believe that the Hulk could tag Wally or Barry or any other Flash. And Worldbreaker comes in because if the Hulk can't tag Wally or Barry or any of the other Flashes, and the Flashes just keep running circles around him, punching him in the face, infinite mass punching him, phasing organs out of his body, shit like that, he's gonna get incredibly angry. And in that anger, he just may become the Worldbreaker. And just like Broly in his legendary Super Saiyan transformation, Worldbreaker would increase all of the Hulk's attributes, like his speed, which was already to the point that he could react in the same time spans that people like the Flash, Wally, Barry can react in when they just chilling. So the Hulk's adaptive reaction is a little bit different from Doomsday's, because Doomsday's is more so his body will make changes to its physiology based off what's attacking it. So somebody like Superman come in and start throwing them haymakers, he gonna start to develop denser bones and stuff like that. Martian Manhunter come in with like the telepathy and all that, he will develop more mind resistance. That's how Doomsday's adaptive reaction works. The Hulk's adaptive reaction is kind of like that, but also different at the same time. Because there are times, like here, where the Hulk was underwater and drowning, but then all of a sudden his body grew glands that just let him breathe underwater. And it's very much the same thing for space, because if you were to go back to like the early 70s and 80s Hulk, but he could not survive breathe in space, could not survive breathe underwater. Now he can do both. And again, like I said, I know that the Hulk's adaptive reaction is a little bit different than Doomsday's. The way the Hulk adapts to pretty much everything is to just either become stronger, more durable, or faster. Now, again, there are times like early on in the day where the Hulk's body couldn't adapt to certain surroundings. Like this one time that Hulk and Thor fought, and Thor teleported him to a planet that didn't have oxygen, and the Hulk started to pass out. But for the most part, the Hulk's body will adapt to any environment that it's in. And if something's attacking him, something's hitting him with hella hard blows or something, like if Superman were to come up, the Hulk wouldn't grow like dense bone protrusions or anything like that, or like kryptonite bones or nothing like that. His skin would just get harder. He would get stronger, and he would get faster. His reaction time would just get faster. That's the way the Hulk's body adapts to most things, is to just increase its stats to a level where he could just overpower it. So again, I know it's a little different, and I do apologize for not having more scans prepared. I'm actually at work on my lunch right now. Hey, I don't want to take my entire lunch looking up scans, you feel me? Oh crap, sorry, gotta come back in. So as far as Hulk and Doomsday go, there is a limit to how much Doomsday can adapt in a particular lifespan. Now, if he is killed, he will adapt to what killed him and, yada yada. But we have seen multiple times that Doomsday's adaptation does have a limit, because if Doomsday's adaptation did not have a limit, whatever killed him would not have been able to do so. Conversely, we know that the Hulk's adaptation does not have a limit, because again, besides Immortal Hulk, nothing has been able to kill him in Marvel. Dude's literally adapted to damn near everything. But I hope that answers your question, and I hope you have a good night. Alright, so in my opinion, the answer to this is kind of yes and kind of no. No, and being, I can't think of any times where I've just seen the Hulk running so damn fast that he's just outrunning concepts. I don't think you'll find that in a comic. But the reason I also say it's kind of yes is because even though you won't see the Hulk running like a million miles an hour or nothing like that, you will absolutely see the Hulk keeping up, reacting to overpowering, speed blitzing. People who travel speed and combat speed can move millions of times faster than the speed of light. And that's really the weird thing about the Hulk, because some of the best speed feats I could show you is him speed blitzing like hella fast people, or times where he's moved so fast that he's looked like a blur or left after images. And like, yeah, that's cool, but that ain't, I'm outrunning, like, concepts cool, you feel me? But most of the reason why I say yes is because, as weird as this is gonna sound, the Hulk is as fast as he is strong. The Hulk is as durable as he is strong. And considering that in forms that are not even his most powerful form, his strength has been able to affect the universe and entire dimensions at large. And I mean, it's kind of been shown that he can take the kind of punches that he can dish out, and that his speed only increases with his anger, just like his strength and his durability and his healing factor and reaction time and mental defenses and all that stuff. So if the stat gain is equal all the way across the board and it just keeps getting higher, I mean, there's really no reason to believe that given enough time to get angry, he just couldn't get that fast, because it's already kind of ridiculous some of the shit that he's been able to do while he's not in forms like World Breaker and Heart of the Monster. So yeah, I mean, at base, hell no, he not that fast, not at all. At base, I mean, he could probably run like 400 or 500 miles an hour, jump at like 400 or 500 miles an hour. I think I read a comic where they clocked it at like 437 or something like that. I mean, he's fast enough to dodge bullets, but I mean, he doesn't really need to. But no, on average, he damn sure ain't outrunning no concepts or nothing like that. Now, I mean, when it comes to Heart of the Monster or World Breaker or something like that, that's a whole other story, bro. I don't know what to tell you on that one. Alright, so in my opinion, the answer to this is kind of yes and kind of no. No, and being, I can't think of any times where I've just seen the Hulk running so damn fast that he's just outrunning concepts. I don't think you'll find that in a comic. But the reason I also say it's kind of yes is because even though you won't see the Hulk running like a million miles an hour or nothing like that, you will absolutely see the Hulk keeping up, reacting to overpowering, speed blitzing. People who travel speed and combat speed can move millions of times faster than the speed of light. And that's really the weird thing about the Hulk, because some of the best speed feats I could show you is him speed blitzing like hella fast people, or times where he's moved so fast that he's looked like a blur or left after images. And like, yeah, that's cool, but that ain't, I'm outrunning, like, concepts cool, you feel me? But most of the reason why I say yes is because, as weird as this is gonna sound, the Hulk is as fast as he is strong. The Hulk is as durable as he is strong. And considering that in forms that are not even his most powerful form, his strength has been able to affect the universe and entire dimensions at large. And I mean, it's kind of been shown that he can take the kind of punches that he can dish out, and that his speed only increases with his anger, just like his strength and his durability and his healing factor and reaction time and mental defenses and all that stuff. So if the stat gain is equal all the way across the board and it just keeps getting higher, I mean, there's really no reason to believe that given enough time to get angry, he just couldn't get that fast, because it's already kind of ridiculous some of the shit that he's been able to do while he's not in forms like World Breaker and Heart of the Monster. So yeah, I mean, at base, hell no, he not that fast, not at all. At base, I mean, he could probably run like 400 or 500 miles an hour, jump at like 400 or 500 miles an hour. I think I read a comic where they clocked it at like 437 or something like that. I mean, he's fast enough to dodge bullets, but I mean, he doesn't really need to. But no, on average, he damn sure ain't outrunning no concepts or nothing like that. Now, I mean, when it comes to Heart of the Monster or World Breaker or something like that, that's a whole other story, bro. I don't know what to tell you on that one. Round 2, fight!
He didn't debunk me at all. Matter of fact, he didn't debunk a single claim. He was literally just talking. He disproved anything that I said. Not a single thing. The feats that he presented were anywhere between planetary and 5D. The feats that I presented are outer to high.
So when you can't debunk the feat, you just start throwing around a whole bunch of random ass power scale in terms that nobody but power scalers give a shit about. Gotcha.
Mention that Hulk destroyed. Congratulations, it's finite.
See, this is how we know you don't read comics, because Nightmare's realm, infinite. The Dark Dimension, you know, Dormammu's realm, infinite. The Nightcrawler's dimension, infinite. But go on.
About Hulk breaking reality with a punch and punching the fabric of time. Exactly, he punched the fabric. He didn't affect their direct concepts.
I don't know. I feel like if you can hit so hard that you tear through the fabric of time, you're affecting the concept of time with your physical strength, but go off.
Congratulations, that's like 4 to 5D at most. Oh, if you're still not convinced, he made no limits fallacies. Hulk does not have a cap on his speed, which is incorrect. He doesn't have a cap on his strength. Those are not the same thing.
Anybody who knows the most basic thing about the Incredible Hulk knows that all of his stats increase and do not have a cap. This lets me know that you don't even read Hulk comics.
Things like affecting high outer structures with his speed. Saying that a character can beat another character and using the argument of they don't have limits is a no limits fallacy.
And this is why the people like me who take feats over feelings don't take you power scalers fucking serious. Remember when I left the comment, you should know exactly what part of your video I'm going to use to destroy you with? This is that part, so listen. All that I have been saying is the same thing Marvel's been saying for like 60 years. So if me saying the Hulk doesn't have a limit, that's something you gotta take up with Marvel. Because I'm not just coming out the side of my neck with this stuff. It's literally been in the books. Like, let's look at this fight between the Challenger and Thanos. And Thanos compares the Challenger's might to the Hulk's, while the Challenger's holding the Power Stone. You know, the thing that has limitless energy? So, I mean, if me just saying what Marvel's been saying, I mean, if that's a problem for you, maybe you should call up Marvel editorial and tell them to stop putting so many no-limits fallacies in their comics. That way, I don't know, next time you debate somebody, they won't have you out here looking silly as hell.
When he committed that fallacy, he completely lost his entire point.
The minute that I said something that Marvel's been saying for like 80 years, my point was invalid because you don't read comics. Gotcha. So much more to go, man. I'll see you in part 2. We're back at it.
Shame on you for losing the argument, pretending that you didn't lose the argument, and then feeling some small victory because you thought somebody else won the argument for you. You want to know what's worse? He tried to use arguments like Hulk reacting to Silver Surfer, as if Silver Surfer's speed is anything in comparison to Wally.
I mean, considering both Silver Surfer and Wally can affect the concepts of time with their speed alone, I would say it's pretty comparable. Even though I would still say Wally was faster. But, you know, Hulk not having a cap on his speed and all.
And then he also tried to argue, but Hulk reacted to Mjolnir. Yeah, Mjolnir was stated to move across a galaxy in 60 seconds, but this guy misinterpreted that to universe.
Yeah, you know what, guys? He's right about that when I did misinterpret that. My bad, I'll take that. I mean, it still doesn't change the fact that the Hulk can react to people who can move in plague and attosecond time periods. It still doesn't change the fact that the Hulk can react to and has beat the shit out of people who can fly from the Kree homeworld to Asgard in the time that it took Heimdall to blink. But go on.
But even then, Wally could literally erase entire DC timelines. The scaling difference between Marvel and DC is fucking humongous.
I mean, that's cap. Not that whole Wally can erase timelines thing. Even though I'm pretty sure the Hulk's fight with Onslaught is what caused the whole Heroes Reborn thing to pop off to begin with. You know, the reset of the Marvel timeline.
Timelines contain sections of the multiverse, and he's doing this with sheer fucking speed alone.
You mean kind of like how after Thor got irradiated by the Hulk's power, he was able to rip out the World Tree? Which is stated to house an infinite number of universes, and has been said by Odin to be an integral part of the multiverse. Because, I mean, we have characters in Marvel who quite frequently affect the entire multiverse with their power. Stop that cat. Don't get me talking about Clyde Wincham in the Marquis of Death.
Listen, I meat ride Wally from time to time, but this guy definitely meat rides Hulk with the statements that he's trying to make.
I mean, every statement that I make about the Hulk, you can definitely go look up.
He was using Worldbreaker Hulk at a certain point, which was the initial argument, I understand. But he was trying to use arguments like, oh yeah, he's relative to this character. Yeah, this is the same Hulk that was struggling to fight against the Hulkbuster, She-Hulk, etc. And this version of the Hulk, again, is very amped. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure there's an instance where Doctor Strange was beating his ass. Literally, like, every character that Hulk was having...
I'm gonna make a whole video about this, because this is how we know you don't read comics! Guys, let me show you a prime example of why you should talk less and research more. Do y'all remember when I said... I mean, it took the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the entirety of the X-Men, Doctor Strange while channeling the powers of an interdimensional demon, and the literal Superman-esque character to stop the Hulk. And they didn't even stop him. I literally told them to drain off his gamma radiation before he destroyed the world. And then it was proven on 3 separate occasions that he held back against everyone. So, do y'all remember when I said that? Well, tell me why Zed the Undead would then say this.
Arguments like, oh yeah, he's relative to this character. Yeah, this is the same Hulk that was struggling to fight against the Hulkbuster, She-Hulk, etc. And this version of the Hulk, again, is very amped. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure there's an instance where Doctor Strange was beating his ass. Literally, like, every character that Hulk was having trouble fighting, or even, like, mid-diffing, get fucking negged by Wally.
Since I know you didn't read that comic, let's read it together. Ooh. Iron Man. Collision that causes shockwaves that blows out windows. Or gets punched in the back of the head. Punched through a building, and then shot with a whole lot of rockets. But is completely unfazed. And destroys Iron Man utterly and completely until this. She-Hulk, his cousin, who he didn't really want to fight. She punches him in the nose. He grabs her by her face and slams her ass into the dirt. Oh God, please. Doctor Strange, after channeling the extra-dimensional powers of the demon Zom, the same Zom that it took Doctor Strange and the Living Tribunal to defeat the first time, punching holes through that man's body. This multiversal powerhouse right here, blasting more holes through this man's body. Wonder where that big-ass hole in his body went. It don't matter, I guess, because at the end of the day, Hulk still beat the shit out that man. So you say that he was struggling to mid-diff these characters. This lets me know you don't read Hulk comics, because I even said that that had been proven on 3 separate occasions that he held back throughout the entirety of that event. Like he did here. Like he does here. Sorry for the bad quality, guys. TikTok won't let me upload the scan, so I'm having to Google it. And like the Hulk admits, he was holding back while he was in the Dark Dimension during the Heart of the Monster storyline. So you saying one thing, but the feats, facts, and the scans are proving you don't know what you're talking about.
A drastic scale. But again, he already committed a no-limits fallacy.
Again, guys, that no-limits fallacy being, I only stated that Marvel has been stating for 60 plus years that the Hulk is limitless. Anyway, man, you had a chance to delete that video. So, I don't know, maybe next time, talk less, research more. Guys, let me say I understand that it's necessary to scale characters against each other to see just how strong characters are. When I say throwing around terms that don't nobody but power scalers give a fuck about, immeasurable speed, 4D, 5D, outer versor, high order, layers into boundless. Bruh, don't nobody but power scalers give a fuck about that kind of terminology. Because you are absolutely able to talk about comic characters and how powerful they are without using those terms. I've been doing it for like a year and a half. That's the end of power scaling I don't subscribe to. Because at that point, people just argue who scales higher and not who would actually win the fight. So yeah, I understand that sometimes you have to scale characters against each other. That's fine. All that other layers into infinite, immortal, hydro, oxic, man, fuck all that dumb shit. Guys, I'm starting to think that some of y'all just don't have any kind of common sense. If somebody's speed does not have a cap, if somebody whose speed is just like their strength and durability, infinite, meaning it will never end, meaning it would always just keep compiling on itself, don't you think Eventually he would get to above immeasurable speeds. And I mean, if I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty sure I've seen a comment in a comic, I believe it was the Indestructible one, where they described the Hulk speed as immeasurable. Now I could be wrong, but you guys realize that the Hulk's strength also includes his legs, right? He just doesn't run because the ground would break under him, which is why he jumps. I swear the only thing you guys are doing is showing the rest of the world what it looks like when you talk without doing your research. Hey Zed, this is probably gonna be the last video I make about you, bro. But do you know how I myself and the rest of the comic book community, especially people who read Hulk comics, know you don't know what you're talking about? Because you tried to say that World Breaker Hulk was the Hulk that was fighting She-Hulk and the Iron Man and Doctor Strange and the Sentry and all that. And yes, I can understand the confusion because a lot of people do call the Green Scar World War Hulk the World Breaker. Hell, Rob from Comics Explained has even said it from time to time. But the simple fact of the matter is, he didn't turn World Breaker until after Meeks stabbed Rick Jones and then admitted that he watched them put a bomb on his ship so that it could remind the Hulk for what he was made for. That's when he turned World Breaker. And yeah, different people have been able to knock him around. Nobody's ever been able to put him down or so much injure him for more than a second or two. So you don't even know what Hulk you're talking about, but you think you're gonna tell me about the Hulk. Hey Zed, guys, let me make something clear for those of y'all who... Hey guys, for those of you who are in my comments under the whole me and Zed the Undead One Debunked videos, first, let me just go ahead and say, I appreciate y'all's support. But secondly, I would like to say, even if you feel like I won that, even if you feel like Buddy don't know what he talking about, even if you feel like Buddy full of shit, there ain't no need to go out of your way to call him names. Because at the end of the day, it's just comics. It's just fiction. And the reason I say this is because far too often, us nerds will literally roast and rag on other nerds because we have differences in opinion. And to me, it's just kind of dumb since we're all nerds enjoying talking about nerd shit that we obviously have in common. So it ain't really no need to go out of our way to call each other names just because we don't agree with the shit that the other person's talking about. So again, guys, I appreciate the support, but we're not going to do that toxic shit around this way. We'll talk a little shit, for sure. That other shit ain't what heroes do. Hey guys.
Fucking Supergirl. And Supergirl's way stronger than Hulk.
First, did anybody notice how every time I showed you guys that he didn't know what he was talking about, he just kind of moved on to the next subject? Like how he didn't know what Hulk he was talking about. Like how he didn't know that all of the Hulk's attributes go up, not just his strength. Like how Marvel's been saying that the Hulk has limitless potential for like 60 years in comics. Like how the Hulk was holding back against all the characters that he tried to say the Hulk was struggling against. Like how he tried to say Mongol consistently shows combat speed relative to Superman, even though anytime Superman's actually used his real speed against Mongol, he's completely overwhelmed his ass. Even blitzed Mongol, only going 400 miles an hour. And I mean, there's been a couple of other things that I've just absolutely proved him wrong about. Does anybody notice that at no point in time did he ever go back and address any of those things? Not one of them. He just kept moving the goalpost. Keeps on bringing up these no limits fallacies. He even tried to say that I said the Hulk would win because he's immortal, which isn't what I said. I said that unlike Doomsday, only one of these characters has never died in comics. You know, until the immortal Hulk, that is. But notice how he just keep moving the goalposts. Don't even acknowledge the fact that he was wrong. That's one. Secondly, you still haven't proven how Doomsday beats the Hulk. And I think it's funny that you even believe that, considering that DC themselves have said that the Hulk would be Doomsday. And one of Doomsday's writers even said that the Hulk would be Doomsday. And I also find it funny that you still have not disproven any of the points that I've made in any of my Hulk versus Wally West videos, where I go into Wally's ridiculous speed, phasing, speed steal, infinite mass punt, throwing Hulk into the Speed Force. You say you know so much about the Flash and that I don't know what I'm talking about, yet you still have not disproven any of the claims that I made. You just showed feats of Wally doing things, but not how they're applicable to actually being able to put down the Hulk to give Wally a win. That's two. Secondly, you don't even read the shit that you show in your scans because you say Wally tanked a knee from Supergirl. But I'm pretty sure Wally even says in that scan that had he not phased at the last second, Supergirl probably would have killed him. So did he really tank it, or did he just dodge it at the last second? That's 3. And Supergirl way stronger than the Hulk. This really the kind of shit that you feed into your audience over there? Well, you got 281,000 followers because of it, so you must be doing something right, even if the information isn't. The entirety of the time that we've had this conversation, Zed the Undead one, the only thing you have done is move the goalposts, talk about no limits fallacy, and just say why you feel like I don't know what I'm talking about. You said that Doomsday bodies the Hulk, yet you provided no evidence on how that's been done or how it would be done. I've made several videos on this, but I mean, even if we were to just look at the characters of Doomsday and the Hulk, Doomsday is a creature that never holds back, right? Going 100 all the time. And I have not seen Doomsday accomplish half the feats that the Hulk has while the Hulk has been holding back. I've made several videos as to why I feel like the Hulk would slam Doomsday, especially if we're talking about the current Hulk, while you still have not provided any out of pure laziness. Okay. When it comes to this Wally and the Hulk thing, the only thing that you've done is pull up a whole bunch of feats of Wally being fast and being able to take hits, which are 2 things that I've never denied in any of my videos. I never said that Wally didn't have feats. I never said that Wally wasn't a bad motherfucker. The only thing that I have ever said is that since the Hulk does not have a cap and has been able to react to people who have plank and nanosecond reaction time, while in weaker forms than Worldbreaker, it stands to reason that since the Hulk's attributes, all of them continuously go up the matter he gets, and Worldbreaker is essentially him being in a legendary Super Saiyan and frothing with rage all the time, that all of his attributes would continue to raise, which would eventually mean that he would be able to hit Wally. And then the only other thing that I asked was, how does Wally take out the Hulk in character without going back in time? I even made an entire playlist. Showed feats like Wally being able to phase people's brains out. Cool. I literally talked about how phasing doesn't work on the Hulk, even if said phasing is somebody phasing people's body parts into another dimension. I talked about speed steal. I talked about the infinite mass punch. I even talked about Wally, Barry, or whoever, just throwing him into the speed force. And I asked you to tell me where I was wrong, since you know so much about the Flash's feats. And apparently, since you know so much about the Hulk's feats as well, you would have a good grasp as to tell me where I was wrong. But you have not done that. You just keep telling me I don't know what I'm talking about, while not actually explaining to me why what I'm talking about is wrong. So, I mean, you haven't really done anything except what all power scalers do when they get pushed into a corner, which is, instead of attack the actual point, to just start naming off random shit and just show people how powerful the character is and talk about their scaling and shit. But it's funny that at no point in any of these videos have you ever addressed any of the points that I obviously proved that you were wrong on, which leads me to believe that this whole debate is pointless and you will never admit when you take an L. So, I'm done. Have a good one. You know, it's funny to think that this whole Ziz did scenario started because he decided to talk about me in his videos as if I was some jerk off who didn't know what he was talking about, and then didn't even have the courtesy to tag me, even though he went out of his way to try to insult my intelligence in his videos. I don't know where they do that at, but it ain't around here. I understand that you're a larger content creator, so you have a certain image to uphold, but just remember you did this to yourself. Had you just, I don't know, kept me out your mouth, like Comics Related would say, spoke on what you knew and not what you heard, had you done a little less talking and a little bit more research, we wouldn't be here right now. But since you've done none of those things, you over there on your page fighting for your life in the comments. And it's crazy to think that I actually really did enjoy your Jason Voorhees content, because I never really just heard anybody get up here and talk about Buddy like that. But I'm gonna show you a visual representation of what this entire debate has looked like. Are you ready?
Wait! Stop! Stop! Don't kill me! Please!
And to think, ain't even had to be like that. What's the Hulk's best speed feat? Prepare yourself for this, because I just looked this up, and I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of blew me away. I was not ready for this. Hulk's best speed feat? Running from his daddy issues. A Darkseid avatar at base strength is definitely stronger than the Hulk at base strength. So, yeah, if he did it quick, he could totally take out the Hulk. But if Darkseid does what Darkseid generally does, which is talk a little shit, then maybe hit him with an Omega Beam or something like that, well, then that's a different story, because it's gonna piss him off. And before y'all get in the comments like, well, his Omega Beam completely erases people. A lot of people have survived it, guys. So maybe I'm personally just not using the correct name of a specific beam he has, because I'm not no Darkseid expert. But if he does some shit like that, and the Hulk get a chance to get pissed off, I don't know. Maybe he'd take Darkseid, because Doomsday was able to put hands on him. But this is also if we're talking about like the classic Hulk, because current Hulk will beat the shit out of a Darkseid avatar. But no, generally speaking, if Darkseid takes that Thanos route, does it quick, yeah, he can totally take out classic Hulk, no doubt. A Darkseid, that's not what I said, brother man. A lot of context here, most of it being in the Hulk versus Wally playlist that I made. But I originally made a in-character battle between the two. And I said in character, Wally's just not going to go back and kill Bruce Banner before he comes to Hulk. Even though he definitely could. But my question was, besides being able to go back in time and kill Bruce Banner before he became the Hulk, how would he take out the Hulk? So I'm not trying to nerf Buddy at all. I even definitely gave very specific win conditions for Wally. I think one of the first things I said is, if he does it like he does everything fast, he can totally take out the Hulk. But then I also entered a scenario in which he doesn't go in immediately with an infinite mass punch or something like that, and the Hulk got a chance to get angry, and then I went from there. But nah, bro, I wasn't trying to nerf Wally or nothing like that. That's not what I said.
It's going to go on long enough for him to get angry. Wally doesn't need to build up speed. I
want you to know the only reason I'm still responding to your nonsense is because people are still tagging me in your nonsense. I also want you to know that the entirety of the time that we were debating, I didn't use the current Hulk. And guys, check out the hashtag. It's got almost 1 million hits now. But I didn't use the Hulk ship Enterprise on you, bro, because I was trying to get you to tell me how Wally beats the regular Hulk. Because, you say atomization, but I haven't seen him atomize somebody who can infinitely get more durable. You also say that he could phase people's brains out of their body, but I haven't seen Wally do that to somebody as durable as the Hulk, or much less to somebody whose brain would immediately grow back. But okay. I was trying to give your ass a chance, but it's done now, son. Because this current Hulk, he gonna bend that boy. Well, why do I say that? Doctor Strange classifies this new Hulk as potentially the most dangerous threat they've ever faced. And if you've read Avengers comics, you would know that statement means something. In case you didn't know, what Bruce Banner has done is hooked up the Hulk with celestial technology, making his external frame faster, stronger, more durable than it ever was, aka the Hulk's physical body, and then building an impenetrable mind palace inside of his brain, pretty much making it all but impossible for mystics and Omega level telepaths to get in there. Even Odin was flabbergasted at the power it would take to do something like that. But lastly, what Bruce Banner did was take the Hulk's anger and put it in a cage, and controls it by turning up a lever, making him as fast, as strong, and as durable as he needs to be for any point in time. It's almost like you did not know that this current Hulk was stronger than the Phoenix. No, I'm not just saying that. I went into great detail about it in this playlist. Then when we go and we take a look at his fight with Thor, a version of Thor who is far more powerful than when Black Panther classified him as somebody who could kill the Phoenix right alongside with people like the Molecule Man, Thanos, Galactus, the Living Tribunal, and the Beyonders. And like I said, even while fighting a version of Thor who was more powerful than when Black Panther classified him somebody who was on the same level as the Beyonders, they were essentially still going blow for blow the entire time, with Hulk, like always, edging him out in physical prowess. So before you feel like you can tell me how Wally beats this current Hulk, who is vastly stronger than every other Hulk and would dog shit stomp every other Hulk with no difficulty immediately, how about you tell me how Wally defeats any of the other Hulk? Because like I've said, Wally could totally take out the Hulk if he came in immediately with the infinite mass punch. If Wally just come in and start hitting him fast, Hulk gonna get pissed off, and at that point Wally's options start running very low. So I don't need to wait for the video, you can't, much less how he defeats this Hulk. Stop the cap, talk less, and research more, bro. So you want to know about the green? I'm gonna tell you, bro. Yes. So you say now, me. See, bro, this is where you are wrong, because Wally would still have to have a way to defeat an angry Hulk. So if we're talking about bloodlusted, this means that he's going against the current Hulk ship Enterprise while he's bloodlusted. While Thor was wielding the power and strength of the Hulk, Odin said out his mouth that they would have to channel all of the power of the rune, which last time Thor was powered by the runes, he was able to take out Sentry and the Void. But Odin also said they had to channel the power of all 9 realms. The only way he was defeated was because somebody of equal strength was there to depower him, i.e. Hulk with the powers of Thor. So if you believe this, it's fair, bro. That's your opinion. I only ask you to back it up with feats, facts, and scans, like I've been asking everyone else to do, yet no one has done it. They just throw out feats of Wally being fast. So if you decide to make a video, hopefully you'll be different and actually attack the points. I'm gonna tell you, bro, he probably actually could do this, but considering going back in time in Marvel doesn't affect current timeline, they even explain this pretty well in the MCU. The only thing Wally would be doing is going back in time and then banging Bruce Banner's mom. As disrespectful as that would be. Like, yeah, I guess it would stop a Hulk from being born in that time period, but it wouldn't really do anything to affect the current Hulk. I mean, short answer, there's nothing that can perma-kill Doomsday. But I mean, if I'm gonna be 100% honest, that wasn't the question of the fight. The question was, could the Hulk beat Doomsday? And the answer is absolutely yes. Especially if we were to look at like their classic versions of Doomsday and the Incredible Hulk. Yeah, Doomsday is a fucking beast. He's a hoss and he kills like 90% of the people he fights against. Dude is nothing to be fucked with. Doomsday is a character who never holds back and he never pulls his punches. See, the difference between the two is the Hulk is a character who also beats the shit out of 90% of the people he fights. The Hulk also has better feats all around than Doomsday. And the biggest difference is the Hulk is a character who always holds back and always pulls his punches against everyone he fights. Then if we're talking about the current Hulk ship Enterprise, well then that's a slaughter, it's not even close. But no, I don't think either one could perma-kill the other. Hope that answers your question. Have a... It's that time!
Is that they actually do. Wally West or Doomsday alone would body slam Hulk.
I mean, I find it funny that you say Doomsday would body slam Hulk, even though Doomsday is a character who never holds back, and even while never holding back, he's somehow still dodged several times in comics, whereas the Hulk is a character who's always holding back and has fought arguably more powerful people than Doomsday and has never died once. Except for in the Immortal Hulk when they specifically wanted to show that he would come back if he did die. Wally? I mean, I don't know. Do you think that Wally could have beat Hunter Prey Doomsday by himself? Because if your answer is no, definitely not going to beat like World Breaker Hulk or some shit like that. I mean, do I think Wally could win? I mean, yeah, sure, but only if you come right off the jump with like infinite mass punches or some shit, which in character is not something he's just going to do, but let's go.
Stated numerous times, that does not mean it's not fallacious at all. Let's put this into perspective. If it's stated directly what his strength is, where it's like incalculable, non-infinite, infinite, etc., then it would be a viable and direct statement to Hulk's strength. Instead of saying like Hulk's strength has no limits, it's completely meaningless because there are certain characters out there with power far greater than that.
Okay, so I understand what you're trying to say, but the thing you're doing is conflating power and strength. Reason that the Hulk's strength is always looked at as limitless is one, because he's a direct avatar of the one above all, a being with infinite, limitless strength, power, and all that other, which he put into the Hulk and is only tempered by the Hulk's emotions. So just knowing that he's a direct avatar of a being that has infinite power, that's one thing. And then secondly, when you look at all of the strength feats of everybody in Marvel Comics, none of them have better strength feats combined than the Hulk. So when you look at everything that he has done, compare that to the levels of anger that he was at when he did them, and then compare that with the very nature of his character, saying the Hulk has infinite strength, be it tied to his emotions or not, it's just factually true. Regardless as to whether or not you want to say it's a no limits fallacy or not, that's something you're gonna have to take up with the writers, not us.
Spoiler alert, Superman would effortlessly fly through Hulk's body and slam him to the pavement.
I mean, I don't know why all of you Superman guys say this, because they fought 3 times in comics that are now canon due to some DC comic shit that's happened recently. The first time in which he stopped holding back from the jump and took him out, which is something I've always said he could do. The second time when he fought the literal second weakest version of the Hulk that does not get stronger the angrier he gets. Superman even says that it took everything he had to take him out. And then the third time when he fought the Savage Hulk, the Hulk that most of us think of when they think of Hulk, and was having such a difficult time trying to put him down that he was hoping that the Hulk was getting tired because he was winning. The Hulk also speed whips him and threw him into space. So I don't know where you're getting your information, but it's factually incorrect. We're back. Let's go.
Did the same thing, but that scan you just showed is literally fodder as hell compared to Doomsday's feat. The Phantom Zone is basically described as a boundless, dimensionless realm between being and nothingness, and it also resides within the God Sphere, a platonic realm that's beyond the concepts of time and space and dimensionality itself. That's far greater than what your scan showed for Hulk.
And he did it again, he broke the time barrier.
First off, that's not a normal Hulk, and that Hulk doesn't even exist anymore.
Okay, number one, that is absolutely a normal Hulk. He's just pissed off. And number two, the chronometer did not amp him. The chronometer only made it so that the time fluctuations wouldn't fuck up his body as much as it normally would have. Essentially putting his body in sync so that he could attack time. But being in sync with time or not, he still would have to have the physical force needed to destroy it. And just, again, it doesn't really matter whether or not this is a Hulk personality anymore. It's still something that happens in canon.
You please enlighten everyone on why you're using a scan from the MC.
I mean, like Buddy said in his video, you could read it better, because regardless as to whether or not it's the MCU or the comic universe, it's basically the same shit.
Of Bruce Banner's fear, which drew into the avatar of the one below all. Hulk didn't damage Koba, he just dispersed its avatar.
I mean, you're saying he just dispersed his avatar as if that's still something to scoff at. Because, I mean, if we're gonna remember correctly, that very same avatar was throwing up millions of Hulk demons that were tearing through pretty much everyone. And this is something that he did while he was in its realm. And I understand that this thing didn't have a physical manifestation at the time, but if you know anything about things that rule hellscapes in Marvel, 9 times out of 10, you can't fuck with them in their realm. And I mean, sure, you could say that Absorber Man channeled a whole bunch of gamma energy into him so he could do it, but considering gamma energy is already something that powers the Hulk, it would be no different than saying that Wally West uses the Speed Force to accomplish feats, or that Superman uses the Sun to accomplish feats, like one-shotting the world for them.
Compromising Hulk is stupid. Hulk literally has the best healing and immortality in Marvel Universe.
You say this, but you showed nothing to prove.
Not trying to be rude, bro, but if you read Hulk comics, you would know that. I've shown at least half of his healing feat and his durability feat. But I mean, if you would like that proof, yeah, I could definitely show you 3 minutes of his durability and healing feat. Because Buddy's right, he is the most durable and has the best healing factor in Marvel.
Look at your scans before showing them. It literally verbatim says it's going to take him a while to recover. Also, Doomsday is regenerated from a memory, but
I mean, yeah, it did take him 18 minutes to heal from all that. Considering he still healed from all that, whereas Doomsday's been killed by being ripped in half by Superman. Yeah. And recovering from a memory is cool, but that's not consistent. It's an outlier. Part 3 coming up. Haha, Part 3, we back.
Heal Hulk only needs seconds.
not exactly. Doomsday is more of an adapter than a healer, and as for Hulk, it really depends on how much damage he's got.
I mean, he's not wrong. Because, yeah, Doomsday is an adapter, but it's obvious that even though his adaptation is in different ways, it's not as powerful as the Hulk's adaptation. Because if it was, he would not have died as many times as he has. Because Doomsday's adaptation is to physically alter his body to combat whatever is attacking. Like if somebody were to shoot super hot fire at him or something, his body would grow super dense and resistant to fire. Or somebody using phasing, his body would grow resistant to phasing. Or like when he fought Superman and grew kryptonite bone protrusion. Whereas Hulk's mode of adaptation is to just get stronger, more dense, more durable, and heal faster than whatever's trying to hurt him. And considering that the Hulk hadn't ever died up until the Immortal Hulk comic, which again was specifically to show the fact that he'd always come back immediately if he died, and Doomsday's been killed several times, it's pretty safe to assume that the Hulk's adaptation is a little bit better than Doomsday. And as far as the Hulk's healing factor, depends on how much damage he's taken. Nah, that's not really true. The Hulk healing factor gonna work regardless. It may be slowed down, like it was when Professor Hulk fight the Maestro, or when the Savage Hulk fought Zeus. But generally speaking, his healing factor depends on how angry he is. Those two situations are mostly just outliers, because he's taken much greater damage from much more powerful opponents like Galactus. So, yeah, I mean, there's that.
And everything, even in immortality.
I mean, you say that's kind of how Hulk looked after taking a hit from Doomsday. I mean, if I remember correctly, when Doomsday came across Hulk in the crossover, didn't Hulk pimp slap his ass out the way? And again, out of these two characters, one of which never holds back and one of which who always holds back, who's died multiple times? I don't know, man. I like Doomsday. I think he's a powerhouse, and I absolutely believe he would put up a great fight against the Hulk. And shit, even in certain situations, I feel like maybe 4 out of 10 times he could knock out the Hulk. But more often than not, there's nothing that Doomsday could do to consistently be able to keep down the Hulk. Whereas there's plenty that the Hulk could do to be able to consistently keep down Doomsday. Because yeah, you can say he can't die to physical force twice, but Doomsday's power is more so, if it took 100 pounds per square inch worth of pressure to rip off his head one time, then the next time you're not going to be able to do that with that same amount of pressure. You're probably going to have to double it. And considering doubling his pressure is exactly what the Hulk is best at, but that's okay, man. I heard you did another debunk video. We're going to go check that out and see. Count Ghostula. Man, come on.
Show them then. Show me Doomsday or Wally West being stated as having boundless power like Hulk.
You know what's funny? I don't even need to. Playing Doomsday cracking the Phantom Zone and Wally cracking Hyper Time. Both of these realms encompass the God Sphere, which is a platonic archetypal realm beyond the concepts of time and space. The feats that are presented for Doomsday or Wally would put him around these outer versal levels of power. Hulk having infinite strength or infinite power, congratulations, that's like high uni at most.
You know, man, this is where you power scalers lose me. Because it's almost as if you do not understand how the Hulk's powers work. Because yes, that particular feat might be not as tied out or whatever as Doomsday and Wally's feat is. But the simple fact of the matter is, during the time when the Hulk accomplished that feat, was also during the time that it was canon that Bruce Banner always holds back the Hulk's power. Meaning, this was not the peak of the Hulk's power when he did this. Meaning, that version of the Hulk, as powerful as he got from time to time, was not as powerful as other incarnations, like the Green Scar. And he damn sure didn't have the same level of power as the World Breaker. Which means, if the Hulk gets angrier, he could definitely achieve higher levels of feats, which is something that's been canonically proven over 60 years in comics. And I know you're gonna say it's a no limits fallacy, but this literally means, this essentially means, if it takes pure physical strength, there is no feat that the Hulk could not accomplish. But to make matters worse, that was a feat that was accomplished back in like the 70s or 80s, I believe. The Hulk is far stronger than he was then. I mean, you're comparing feats decades apart as if the power levels are still where they were then.
Sleep fly through Hulk's body and slam him to the pavement.
You're literally just being biased right now.
Biased, unfairly prejudiced for or against someone or something. I don't know how I'm being biased against Hulk, but whatever.
I mean, you're kind of being biased against Hulk. I mean, you're completely ignoring canon evidence that Superman would not body the Hulk, because again, the one time that he bodied the Hulk and stopped holding back at the very beginning of the fight was also during the time where it was canon that Bruce Banner was always holding back the Hulk. When both of them had a chance to really get in it and start fighting, Superman was sweating. Even tried to speed blitz and throw him into space, which the Hulk reversed it, speed blitz Superman and threw him into space. So no, you are being biased.
Why not just use that one? Also, dimensions are inherently universes within context. Well, for the sake of the argument, let's just say it's infinitely stacking dimensions. Even then, it's like high hyperversal, which again does not compare to the feats I presented prior.
And I mean, we're still talking about a character who, unlike Doomsday, can infinitely hit harder, so... Oh man, part 2 coming up. Man, we still back with the debunks, guys. Let's go.
Toba is an avatar of Toa.
You mean the dark reflection of the one above all? Even then, why is that even relevant?
And you acting like Doomsday would damage someone like the avatar of Toa.
You didn't even debunk my point. You just said a lot of nothing. And again, Hulk did not damage the one below all. He just dispersed his cloudy avatar. It even says at the bottom left of the skin, this may have bought them maybe a minute.
You know, Count, I would agree with you that the Hulk did not damage Toba. And to be real, man, Infinite's not wrong, though. Because at the end of the day, we still have not seen Doomsday disperse, damage anybody on that level of power. So I would agree with you in saying no, the Hulk did not damage Toba. He dispersed him. Yes, but even still, we haven't seen Doomsday disperse anybody on that level of power.
Other than Doomsday.
I've been seeing everyone in my comment section bring that up in my recent video. Can you guys seriously stop using this scan? First off, this is being stated by Dr. Manhattan, and he's referencing different universes and timelines. Secondly, Marvel and DC are not connected to each other. If anything, they don't even own each other's characters. So the idea of Hulk being stronger than Doomsday from that scan holds no validity.
Now, it's funny that you say this, because if I am correct, during the time when that comic came out, Marvel and DC were thinking about doing another crossover. Now, for whatever reasons, that crossover did not happen, but this would not be the first time that DC has used Marvel characters in its comics, or would it have been the first time that Marvel used DC characters in its comics. Shit, just recently, more like, I think 2019, 2018, in one of Thor's comics, the Black Winter ate one of the DC universes and killed Superman, the Flash, Green Lantern, and all them fools. Now, did the Black Winter technically eat the main DC universe? No. Did he eat a DC universe? Absolutely. So, I mean, you can feel how you want to feel about what's written in the book, but the simple fact of the matter is, it's written in the book, bro. And in the book, it says that the Hulk is stronger than Doomsday, bro. It is what it is. Hell, even one of Doomsday's writers said that the Hulk would be Doomsday. And before anybody goes up here and says, oh, well, I mean, it's just one DC writer. And if one of Superman's writers said, yeah, blah, blah, blah could be Superman, I mean, you just gonna have to take that because you ain't writing Superman's comics now, are you? So if one of Doomsday's writers says that the Hulk can beat him, I mean, you just gonna have to take that because you don't write Doomsday's comics, do you?
And Hulk flicked him away like an insect.
Cool, it's from a crossover comic. It's not canon.
Even though I'm not a DC expert, I'm pretty sure you want to go read Dark Knight's Metal because it made a lot of that shit canon. So, yeah, I mean, that definitely is canon. The Hulk definitely pimp slapped that man. Part 3 coming up. Alright, Ghost, we back at it.
I want to see Doomsday healing his atoms instantly.
Do you ever look at your scans before showing them? It literally verbatim says it's going to take him a while to recover.
Excuse me, son. You need to read the whole scan. It literally took 18 minutes to resurrect from. Atoms.
Really? Then what's this?
I want to see Doomsday healing his atoms instantly.
So not only did you contradict yourself, you proved my point.
So, Ghostula, if I'm gonna be real, you definitely did get him on that, but not in the way of you proving what he was talking about wrong. Really, the only thing you did was argue toward his use of terminology. You didn't really attack the point that he made. And the point that he was making was that in those scans of the Hulk, this man had gotten eaten alive by giant radioactive gamma-powered bugs. And we saw all of his organs spilled out all over everything. These things had eaten up to 85% of his muscle mass. It had eaten out his tongue, his eyes, and his brain. And he grew all that shit back in 18 minutes. Whereas we have seen Doomsday killed by less damage and unable to heal from it. So I mean, yeah, you might have got him on the fact that he may have misspoke and said he can instantly heal his cells even though it took 18 minutes. But you didn't really debunk him on the fact that the Hulk is still healing from things that we've seen kill Doomsday.
Because younger Hulk literally healed from the skeleton in seconds.
Okay? Him having a healing factor isn't going to help him from getting one tap regardless.
Okay, so what proof and evidence do you have to substantiate the claim that Doomsday would one-shot the Hulk? Because it really just sounds like you're speaking out of your feelings and headcanon and not out of anything based in any real facts or reality. Because again, Doomsday's been killed by physical brute strength several times, whereas the Hulk has not. And when we're gonna compare the feats, the Hulk still got better feats, bruh, in base form. And when I say base forms, I mean forms that aren't as powerful as things like Immortal Hulk, the Green Scar Hulk, Worldbreaker Hulk, or the current Hulk ship Enterprise. You're really just talking out of your feelings, but you're not really showing anything to substantiate Doomsday one-tapping anything. Whereas when we look at that canon crossover comic, we clearly see the Hulk one-tap Doomsday.
And everything that he would one-shot.
I just find it hilarious that you said you packed me when all you did was embarrass yourself even more. Simply going to ignore you. I've already lost brain cells enough. Do better, back of the line. This was literally the worst rebunk I have ever seen.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. The end of your video ain't gonna age well by the time this video comes out. Let's talk more research. Buddy really thought he was gonna get away from this scot-free, huh? Y'all, I was really gonna let all that shit go, man. But he just kept running his mouth and kept running his mouth and kept running his mouth. Utter annihilation.
The fight's not going to go on long enough for him to get angry. Wally doesn't need to build up speed. He can quite literally go from 0 to however fast he fucking wants, whenever he wants.
It's almost as if you didn't read the comics, and it's almost as if you didn't know that's exactly what the Hulk can do.
He is so highly in tune with the Speed Force, he could literally rip Hulk's body apart by the fucking molecule.
If you say that he's so in tune with the Speed Force that he could rip Hulk's body apart by the fucking molecule, show me or us one time where Wally has done that to somebody that has equal durability feats to the Hulk. Because if you can't show us that, you're just talking about what you feel like a character could do versus what you've actually seen them do.
Actually, he could rip it apart by the very atom if he sends him into the Speed Force. And if Hulk is struggling with character...
Oh, also just in case you didn't know, the Hulk has resistance to that very thing that you're talking about. And, I mean, yeah, he mad, but he ain't at any particularly high levels of anger, so...
Hulk is struggling with characters who get fucking nagged by Wally. By relativity to those characters, Hulk would also be a Wally victim.
So you go around talking about people lose arguments because they say things like no limits fallacies. But your best argument is, I think Wally would beat these people, and since Hulk has struggled with these people, he would get beat by Wally too. And I mean, yeah, you say Mongol has relativity to Superman, but then you say Wally and Barry dusted Superman. You know, Hulk having relativity to Superman wouldn't matter. So at that point, wouldn't Mongol having relativity to Superman not matter since the Flash has dusted Superman?
Really a bad thing, because I can make a fair argument that Wally actually hits high outer and smacks every single Marvel mid. It's the character's fault that they're weaker than Wally. It's the cosmology gap between the verses of DC and Marvel.
Oh my god. I ain't never seen somebody say so much stupid shit and just believe it. God, bro, you really just do believe this shit that you just be saying, don't you? I'm about to destroy your shit, though. Let's get back to destroying this boy.
Not a concept, a little creator. Oh, if you're talking about the one above all, the dude got downscaled a while back. Yeah, the life of Deadpool was able to completely defy the writing of Toa. An execution that would also downscale Toba Hulk because it's only just Toa masquerading as a villain.
So you really got up here, confidently said that with your whole chest, and thought that that made any kind of logical sense. You thought that it made logical sense to say a character who was designed to break the fourth wall, a character who was designed to go against the narrative of the story, is the reason that the most powerful character in Marvel is not the most powerful character in Marvel. You know, it's crazy that you just find these random one-off events that only ever really happen one time and then just kind of go off these events to try to fit the narrative of whatever you're talking about for the long run.
Reality isn't a win con. Stop pretending as if it is. It's really not. Say he keeps coming back. He's gonna keep coming back and getting his ass kicked. Like I said, he could rip out people's organs if he wanted to.
You keep bringing up this whole him being able to rip out people's organs thing. Cool. Show us this feat being used on somebody with the durability of the Hulk. And I mean equal durability feats, consistent ones. And before you say durability negation, fine. Show him using this durability negation and phasing somebody's brains out. Somebody with the durability of the Hulk. And then after you do that, remember this. People phase into this man's brain all the time. And I mean, sure, it hurts him, but I mean, it doesn't kill him. I mean, to keep it a buck with you, it doesn't slow him down at all. And you know, he'll just heal from it, so.
Completely just atomized them. Like, what the fuck?
Okay, if that's something that he could do, show us two things then, please. Show them atomizing somebody with the durability and healing factor of the Hulk. I don't know, somebody like Doomsday. He's relative. And then show anybody in Marvel being able to atomize the Hulk. I mean, Galactus, you know, the Devourer of Worlds, a guy who can beat the shit out of cosmic entities, was having a very difficult time atomizing the Hulk. I don't know, I mean, can you just show a time that the Hulk has been atomized in canon to even prove it can happen?
And it doesn't take a massive amount to atomize somebody. It's like one touch is all they need.
Yeah, tell that to the guys who tried to destroy him with antimatter. Same antimatter that the Hulk could resist, but was able to destroy the physical form of a Beyonder. Man, oh man, part 3 coming up. We back at it. Let the destruction commence.
Okay, one, I don't recall Hulk ever coming back from being atomized, but here, let's entertain the idea that he did. There's no way he came back from the instantaneous. And even if he did, if he's just going to keep getting atomized over and over, he's never going to get the flat.
And this is why so many people in the comic community don't take you seriously anymore. Because when you say things like this, it's 100% clear that you do not know what you are talking about. But to answer your question, no. None of the ridiculously overpowered motherfuckers that the Hulk has fought in Marvel have ever been able to atomize him. If they did, he would probably come back. And I say probably because I'm not going to sit here and say he would definitely come back since it's not happened, so we don't know. But if he did, do you know what we know would happen? He would come back stronger, faster, and more durable than he was when he was atomized. And his healing factor would be faster. So even if that person was able to atomize him again, do you know what would happen? If he can come back from being atomized, he's gonna come back stronger, more durable, and faster with a faster healing factor. And at that point, the question really just becomes, can the person who is atomizing the Hulk continuously output their power high enough to overpower the Hulk's ever increasing durability and healing factor? Because we know for a fact that the more you damage the Hulk and the angrier that he gets, the more durable, the stronger, and the faster he gets, as well as the faster his healing factor gets. So even if somebody could do it, the question is, how long could they do it? And the bigger question is, can anyone do it? Because I mean, you show scans of Reverse Flash atomizing folk and say because they all have the same power matrix that Wally could probably do it better, and I'd even agree with that. But my question is, has he done that to somebody who could probably come back from being atomized and then be harder to atomize every time he comes back? Have you seen Wally continue to output his power in order to be able to keep up with somebody who has abilities like that.
Especially not Wally, the fastest one. Immortality isn't a win condition, and that guy committed several fallacies, one of them being a no limits fallacy.
You know, even if I did decide to play by your rules and say I committed a no limits fallacy, I still think it's funny that you never debunked anything else that I said. Just kept saying I lost because I made a fallacy. That's funny. Part 4 coming up. We back at it. Utter Destruction, Part 4.
It just means the character has infinite potential. Do you have any idea how many characters in fiction have infinite potential? Literally tons. Tons and tons. Like, I can give you an example. Goku. He has limitless potential. He has infinite potential.
Coming from a guy who been watching the Dragon Ball series since the early 90s, you wrong. It's almost like you didn't even watch the show. Goku absolutely has limits. The thing about Goku and his character that makes him so dope is that Goku always surpasses his limits. Now, yeah, you could say because somebody surpasses their limits, it's as good as not having limit. And I would even say, I understand where you're coming from. But if you have to surpass your limit, then that means that you had a limit. Regardless as to whether or not you surpassed it. You had a limit. So, wrong.
And so has the Hulk. A no limits fallacy occurs in a versus battle debate when somebody tries to use this character has no limits, it's been stated numerous times, therefore the character wins automatically. They lose the argument automatically, no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And this right here is why so many people think you disingenuous, dog. Because I never said that. I never said that once. What I said was that because the Hulk has infinite speed, his speed does not have a cap, that he would eventually be able to tag Wally. I never said because the Hulk has infinite strength that he could beat Wally. That's not what I said. So you just been going out here spreading lies and bullshit to fit your fucking narrative again.
That's what this guy did in the first 1 to 2 minutes of his fucking video.
I'm almost positive what I said was
is how the Hulk has limitless speed. His speed does not have a cap. That yeah, he actually and absolutely could react to Wally.
So again, you're lying.
Y'all are so fucking blind to that blatant fact. Ooh, but I don't like you as much. I want him to win the argument because I like him more. That's practically an appeal to emotions, which is another type of fallacy. Actually, that could fall under appeal to emotions or appeal to popularity. That could fall under either one depending on the fucking context. So both of those are valid.
I've never in my life heard somebody use the term fallacy as much as you. It really seems like you can't keep the term fallacy out your mouth, can you? Man, I'm not gonna lie to you. You make this entirely too easy. You really thought because you blocked me that you was just gonna get out here and talk a bunch of shit and that I won't gonna come out here and correct your ass? Boy, stop. Part 5 coming up. Man, oh man. You make this entirely too easy.
For what? I don't really give a fuck if you like me, but you gotta listen to a fact when you hear a fact. You can't just deny all other fucking evidence to somebody's argument and be like, yeah, no, this guy's right.
Oh, that statement's not gonna age well. Cause you remember when I said this?
Means something. Because since we know that the Hulk's speed does not have a cap, it's written in his character that he would infinitely get faster, which would mean even in time, the Hulk would be faster than Superman. Since with the exception of him currently with that new issue that dropped, Superman just did not have the ability to infinitely increase his speed. Because if he did, then he wouldn't get dusted by characters like Wally and Barry.
And do you remember when you said,
Getting an old character statement from Superman saying that his power culture was fast literally doesn't mean shit when the guy we're initially compared to is so much faster.
but then you go on to say,
Mongol can react to Flash or Hulk. Yes, Mongol has the system to fight the likes of Superman faster than Hulk.
and then went even further to say,
And there's literally a statement that says I couldn't as if out of order.
and I said this in the original video, but not only did you ignore the fact that the Hulk can infinitely get faster under his own speed, which is something Superman can't do, because if he could, he wouldn't get dusted by Wally or Barry. But you also said the comparison between Hulk and Superman wouldn't matter in context to Wally because, you know, they beat Superman in a race. But then go on to say that Mongol could tag Barry because he's relative to Superman in the fight, when just before then you said that it didn't matter and that the Hulk could never hit anybody regardless as to whether or not he was relative to Superman in the fight. So not only are you contradicting yourself, but you also a hypocrite.
What he tried to fucking do in part of his argument, outside of a no limits fallacy, of course, because he committed numerous other fallacies.
Didn't I tell y'all that boy really liked to keep that fallacy in his mouth?
And of the Beyonder and the Hulk, and he tried to say that the Beyonder, who was, and I quote, the strongest character in Marvel at the time.
Your quotation was wrong because what I said was,
Not as nice as the literal second strongest being in Marvel at the time.
again, you're lying. It's almost as if you're debating on what you think that I'm saying. Making this too easy, part 6 coming up. It really should be a crime the way I'm doing you out here.
This video is that the guy committed a no limits fallacy. A no limits fallacy occurred when he tried to use the character having no limits as a premise for an argument, which forced him to lose the argument, which means he lost the argument. Do you understand that?
So let me get this straight. Because in your mind, you feel as if I made a no limits fallacy, and so you pretty much ignore every factual piece of evidence I bring you because you feel like your character would win. Isn't that what you just said you can't do in a debate, bro?
I don't want to hear anybody say, oh yeah, but you didn't show any evidence, so that's a fallacy as well. I did show evidence. I showed evidence numerous fucking times in all my previous videos, and some dingle nut fucking came in my comments and stated that I didn't.
The evidence that you showed is that Wally can perform the feats that you say that he could perform. You did not show how these feats would be applicable to being able to defeat the Hulk. You show him being able to phase people's brains out of his head, yet you still haven't shown how that would work on the Hulk. You show him being able to throw people in the Speed Force, but you still haven't shown how that would work on somebody like the Hulk, especially since they tried to do it to Superboy Prime, and with pure brute strength he broke out of. Which means in fucking time, the Hulk is also gonna break out of. So I mean, yeah, you showed feats, but you never really said how this would be applicable to this man winning this fight, bro. You keep saying that he could atomize the Hulk, but you ain't showed Wally or Barry atomizing anybody with the Hulk's level of durability or nothing like that. So, you know. Part 7 coming up here. Let's see how much you don't know what you're talking about.
Really? When did he fight somebody that could completely atomize him with a single touch? When did he fight somebody and then get atomized and then come back? Please, please. Oh, wait, no, you said worse than that. The only thing worse than that is being erased from all pre-existing timelines.
Not gonna lie, I don't know what Absolute Nut Job is talking about, but would you like to see a couple of people who theoretically should have been able to atomize the Hulk with a single touch, but could not, simply because he's just that motherfucker? Well, with the exception of the Incredible Hulk, and I could be wrong on this, I can't think of too many characters who can survive antimatter, because when antimatter touches normal matter, completely destroys the matter. And somebody who at base is more durable than the Hulk, Thanos, absolutely completely atomized by antimatter. Same thing with the Beyonders. I mean, theoretically, the Ghost Rider should be completely able to atomize it. And I mean, yeah, he would essentially be burning him, but it's the Ghost Rider. And I mean, even he says trying to blast the Hulk all night wouldn't do nothing but make him angrier. And the only way he beat him was taking all the oxygen out the air. Because, you know, back then, the Hulk needed oxygen, so. And I mean, Vector was warping reality. And I mean, the Hulk kind of just took that, so. Oh, wait. Let me be technical. Vector was repelling reality, matter, and all that cool shit. That should also technically vaporize someone. So that technically the weight of a sun would vaporize you, or an all-consuming supernova would vaporize you. I mean, technically speaking, an attack powerful enough to destroy a universe should vaporize you. And getting blasted by Galactus should absolutely vaporize you. Like, really. Getting blasted by Galactus should vaporize you for real, for real. I mean, Doctor Strange can just blink people out of existence. I mean, he says he could have done it to the Hulk here, and I feel like he probably could have. But even when he was channeling the powers of an extra-dimensional demon named Zom, he couldn't vaporize the Hulk. This dude should be able to kill damn near anyone he come across. By that time he fought the Galaxy Master, this dude can shoot blasts that can blow up a planet 10 times over. Would assume that forces that are beyond mortal description should be able to vaporize the Hulk. They don't. And I mean, if I'm going to be real, there's more examples I could show. I know you said people who could vaporize him in a touch, but I'm just bringing up things that should vaporize him. You remember in a previous video when I said that you just like to go for those random one-off things and try to use that to fit whatever narrative you're trying to twist? You're about to do it right now.
Entertain the idea that Hulk has come back from this. There was a comic where Hulk was nothing but like an eyeball and a chunk of his brain left. And he came back from that. It took him months to come back from it.
You see what you did there? You see what you did there? You tried to twist a random one-off feat to fit your narrative, while simultaneously doing something that you said you're not supposed to do in a debate, which is ignore all the facts presented to you because you want your character to win. So you find the one feat where it takes the Hulk a long time to heal, while ignoring this right here, and how he just snapped his shit back in place, while ignoring shit like this, 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 or even shit like this, where he healed from being eaten alive in 18 minutes. But you know what? This was a random one-off story and not technically 616 canon, but you will ignore shit like this. You'll use shit like this, but completely leave out that 2 panels later he was up and okay. You ignore shit like this. You ignore shit like him getting chopped up with adamantium shrapnel. You ignore shit like Doctor Strange blowing a hole through his body multiple times. And a panel and a half later, all those holes being completely healed. You ignore shit like Thor blowing off the Hulk's arm and him immediately growing a new one around his face. I mean, really? Like, for real? Nah, man, keep talking about the random 1 or 2 times that the Hulk didn't instantly heal from whatever hurt him. Shit really is too easy. Part 9 coming up. You remember, you know what, man? This is why I find you such a conundrum. Because in some videos, you'll say incredibly dumb shit that doesn't make no sense. And then in other videos, you'll say things like this.
How would their stamina have to do with their skill? Stamina just means how long somebody can go on things. If a character has unlimited stamina, then they're just not going to try to affect the character's scaling. It's one of those like minute categories that hardly moves. If it was something that could affect the character's scaling, then holy fuck, almost every immortal character like Jason Voorhees would be broken. Things that can affect their durability, it can affect their attack, their strength, their speed, or anything like that. It just means that they don't get enough, which can slightly help against a character who has finite stamina, such as Deku, especially since his own attacks during the time period specified for his own.
Bruh, everything you said in there made complete sense. So it boggles my mind that when somebody tells you that a character like the Hulk not only has unlimited stamina, unlimited strength, unlimited durability, unlimited and ever increasing regeneration, but unlimited speed as well, and that because this man has things like unlimited speed coupled with unlimited stamina, that he would be able to not defeat, but tag Wally West, that you just start screaming out no limits fallacies and that I lost the argument instead of just being like, you know, I definitely still think Wally would win, But I can definitely see why you come to that conclusion, because as unlikely as it is, theoretically that could make sense for the Hulk to eventually be able to tag Wally. Man, you know what, man? This is why I find you such a conundrum. And I'm not gonna lie to you, you probably should have just stuck with the video games, because this whole comic thing really ain't your shtick.
You said that Hulk can beat Superman and Doomsday.
I mean, yeah, the Hulk absolutely has the potential to beat Superman. Because, I mean, I'm sure you would show this scan of Superman not holding back, but neglect to tell people that this is also canon during this time, that Bruce Banner was also always holding back the Hulk. And then when we look at how Superman tried to speed blitz the Hulk reversed it and threw this man into space, with Superman even remarking on how fast he is. And you definitely completely ignored that Superman said in his fight with the Hulk that shit came close to knocking the wind out of him, but he hopes that the Hulk took it harder. And I know you can't see that bubble, but Superman then says no such luck. I mean, to which he didn't even beat him. They ended up just teaming up to beat some other fools. To drive in your point that Superman would destroy the Hulk, I don't know, you probably show some shit like this panel right here where Superman KOs the Hulk. And I mean, I can't deny that win. Superman definitely did win. But the funny thing about that is, I mean, that's Professor Hulk. For those of y'all who really just do the MCU, which is fine. That's the current Hulk in the MCU, the smart Hulk, the one walking around with glasses and drinking martinis and shit. And do you know what Superman had to say about fighting him? The second weakest incarnation of the Hulk, a version of the Hulk that don't get stronger the angrier he gets. He don't get faster, he don't get more durable, he don't get none of that. Do you know what Superman had to say about fighting him? He took everything I had and almost stood up to it. Nothing left now but the weight. I don't feel like Superman would say he took everything he had if Superman didn't give him everything he had to beat the second weakest Hulk there was. And I could be wrong because I'm not a DC guy like that. Is this not the same version of Superman that killed Doomsday? I could be wrong. I get my pre-crisis and post-crisis and all that shit mixed up sometime. You know, that Silver Age and all that good shit, because Superman stuff, just, man. At any rate, it doesn't matter because currently, the Hulk can be as mad as he needs to be at any point in time. Meaning he doesn't have to take time to get angry to get strong. He just turn up the lever and boom. I mean, also considering the fact that the current Hulk has fought a version of Thor that is far more powerful than when Black Panther himself classified Thor as a character who could kill the Phoenix, right alongside with people like Thanos and Owen Reese the Molecule Man in the Living Tribunal and Galactus. So I mean, yeah, the Hulk might be able to beat Superman. Don't worry though, we're gonna take care of the rest of your video in the next part. And I'm not gonna lie to you, you probably should have just stuck with the video games, because this whole and you should probably hope somebody don't clip all these together, because it'd be the most ridiculous debunk ever.
You said that Hulk can beat Superman and Doomsday. Doomsday is the same unfortunately as an infant, literally a baby, broke out of the Phantoms.
I mean, he's also the same guy who's died multiple times in comics, and who also got his ass pimp slapped up in a crossover. But continue.
And there was even a point where he was fucking up Darkseid.
I mean, you say that as if fucking up Darkseid's supposed to mean anything. When, I mean, you see it.
Boy, Hulk loses to Thanos on a consistent basis. Someone who literally gets fucking destroyed by Darkseid.
So let me get this straight. The Hulk loses to Superman and Doomsday because Superman and Doomsday can defeat Darkseid, and Darkseid will one-shot Thanos, and Thanos beats the Hulk. That's the line of logic you going with here. Are you trying to tell me that this multiversal powerhouse of a new god can get beat up by a woman with a sword and a shield who couldn't beat up Doomsday, and a non-sun amped Superman, and he is supposed to be able to one-shot Thanos, a dude who can eat screams from Black Bolt, and a guy who can take blast and punches from Thor. And I mean, not only is Thor Superman's physical equal in every category except consistent combat speed, but in this moment, Thor was in his warrior's madness, a form that is confirmed to multiply his strength, durability, and speed by tenfold. And that's not even the best part. Thor also has the Power Stone. You know, that Infinity Stone that gives you unlimited power? And even after taking blows from a Thor that's that amped, Thanos literally smiles and asks for more. You talking about the same Thanos that was able to fight the All-Father Odin? With Odin being a character who can effortlessly ragdoll Thor, again a character who has physical equivalent feats and everything but consistent combat speed with Superman. Or the way that Odin can ragdoll Silver Surfer, another character who can absolutely stomp Superman's shit, a character who can absorb the solar radiation right out of Superman's body, a character who is so fast that he can enter into the time stream under his own speed. We're talking about the Thanos that fought that Odin, the same Thanos that subjugated Mangog, the same Mangog that has soloed the entire armies of Asgard on multiple occasions and has Odin shitting in his pants. And even with all that power, he still avoids fighting the Hulk because he just don't want that smoke. I don't know, man. I find it kind of difficult that a dude who got beat up by Doomsday would beat up a dude who beats up dudes who would beat the shit out of Doomsday. Part 11 coming up. This a damn shame.
You gave AP to Hulk, attack potion to Hulk, over characters that can literally atomize their opponent with a single touch.
Well, I mean, yeah. When you can illuminate an eon's dark cosmos with a single punch and you're not even particularly angry, I feel like that's a little bit more impressive than being able to atomize somebody.
Hulk has high adaptability and his strength does not have a limit. That's a no limit status.
God, bro, please. Do anything. Say anything. But just please take the phallus out your mouth.
It's not a win condition yet. If it's not a win condition, why bother bringing it up?
Because it is an integral part of the character's design. When you take a character that has a clear finite level of strength and durability, because we've seen it overpowered in that character be killed before, and place them against a character who has an infinite amount of strength and durability, who we have never seen killed before. Yeah, it's kind of an important thing to bring up. No, it's not a win con, but knowing that one character is clearly going to take more damage, knowing that one character's healing factor is clearly not going to be as quick as the other person, knowing that one character's stamina is not going to be as infinite as the other person, is definitely an important thing in a battle. And then, I mean, again, when we look at the feats between the two, sure, Doomsday may have a couple of feats that are higher than Hulk, but for consistency's sake, throughout the entirety of both of their runs, the Hulk's feats are just better, bro. The only thing that you could possibly even use to even try to justify it is Darkseid or him fighting Superman. But besides that, nah, bro. And I mean, I've said this in earlier videos, but for most of the entirety of the time we've argued this Hulk versus Doomsday thing, we have argued with the old classic version of the Hulk. Most this entire time you've been talking about the Hulk, you've been talking about an older, weaker version of the Hulk. We ain't even really went into the immortal Hulk. We ain't even really went into the current Hulk. And I mean, if we gonna do some scaling, he scales so far above fucking Doomsday, it doesn't make no sense.
You're trying to argue that Hulk beats the likes of fucking Doomsday, provided evidence as to why he doesn't. You ignore said evidence and try to equalize the scaling when there's not equalization between the two.
I mean, you're right. You do keep ignoring the evidence as to why Doomsday would not beat the Hulk, and then try to equalize the scaling as if there's equal scaling between the two when there's not, because Hulk's that much stronger. Part 12 coming up. Oh my god, this is probably the most bullshit video you've ever made.
Isn't a mindless creature. As his body adapts to attacks, his mind also adapts to situations. It's constantly evolving. He has adaptive evolutions. It's really fucking broken. But isn't that basing it off the potential of his IQ? Oh no, he has actual intelligent feats. It's fucking ridiculous. There was a point where he outsmarted Batman. Let that sink in. Yeah, I'm sorry. Anybody calling Hulk smarter than fucking Doomsday after that shit is uneducated.
I'm still calling the Hulk more intelligent than fucking Doomsday. Because, I mean, we got Professor Hulk, Bruce Banner's intelligence in the Hulk's body. But, I mean, we also just got the Hulk himself being able to outsmart Dr. Banner twice. Like that time he figured out something that Bruce Banner could never do his entire life, which was separate Bruce Banner from the Hulk, which he did in Shattered Heroes when he went to Dr. Doom to separate Bruce Banner from the Hulk. And then later outplayed and outmaneuvered Banner to the point where the Hulk ended up holding Bruce Banner's face up to an exploding gamma bomb. And I mean, let's not forget about Doc Green. Essentially, the Hulk, if the Hulk was like a mad scientist, who also outsmarted Banner, like several times. And, well, why is any of that important? Because I definitely feel like Batman's smarter than Bruce Banner. Well, that's important because during Greg Pak's run on The Incredible Hulk, Bruce Banner got in a fight with Dr. Doom, and Dr. Doom started trying to use all his sorcery and magic. But Bruce Banner had outsmarted and outplayed his ass. And I mean, outsmarting Dr. Doom ain't no small thing. That guy has literally been able to steal not only the powers of fucking Galactus, but he was also able to steal the power of the Beyonders. And I mean, if we're gonna be honest, the only two people in Marvel that are smarter than Dr. Doom is Reed Richards and his daughter Valeria. And I mean like Earthbound people, because Thanos is more intelligent than Dr. Doom. But I mean, it's also worth it to note that Thanos also keeps a close eye on Dr. Doom all the time because Thanos recognizes his intelligence is definitely a threat. So, with all that being said, if the Incredible Hulk can outsmart Bruce Banner, once with an amp intelligence and another time with just average intelligence, and Bruce Banner is a guy who can outsmart a guy who can steal the power of literal God, very similar to what Batman did to Dr. Manhattan. I mean, let's not use random one-off times of Doomsday being hyper-intelligent to try to justify him consistently being more intelligent than the Hulk. That's a very bad and disingenuous argument. Man, I'm gonna tell you, bro, you're literally like a wealth of content. Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Does that mean Hulk can't be beat? Fuck no.
I don't think any of us have ever claimed that the Hulk can't be beat.
Does he get his ass handed to him by regular mid-tiers in Marvel all the time? Yes. Silver Surfer, Thor, for sure Sentries beat his ass.
You really expect anyone, anybody, bro, who's been reading Marvel comics, or any comics for that matter, but especially Marvel comics, for any length of time, to consider you a valuable source of comic information when you say stupid shit like Silver Surfer, Sentry, and Thor are mid-tier characters. And I mean, yeah, Sentry's supposed to be a Superman-like character, but I mean, if there's anybody in Marvel who is the closest to Superman when it comes to physical capabilities, it would be Thor. Oh, he's a biased fanboy, oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh, Thor's got outmaneuvered by people who Superman would absolutely fought around. Like Superman hasn't gotten his ass slapped around by people that Superman should absolutely fought around. And like Thor, a character who, exactly like Superman, always holds back, has equal to or better feats in every category than Superman, with the exception of consistent speed feats. And when I say speed feats, I mean combat speed feats. And before y'all get in my comments calling me biased, just look that shit up for yourselves. And I'm not even talking about the current Thor, mind you.
Thanos base without any stones whatsoever consistently beats his ass.
I mean, I think I already kind of informed you how powerful Thanos was in a previous video, but it's very clear that you have never really sat down and read Thanos' comic, because again, Thanos is one of the most powerful characters in Marvel without the stones. But whatever. I mean, again, even though he can beat the Hulk, he still avoids fighting him because it's just more problems than he really wants to deal with. I don't see Darkseid avoiding fights with Superman.
Doctor Strange was bullying Worldbreaker Hulk. That's an amped Hulk.
Talking about Doctor Strange after he absorbed the energy of an extra dimensional multiversal demon that Doctor Strange had to team up with the Living Tribunal to defeat the first time, and he still got his ass beat by the Green Scar because the Hulk, because you know the Hulk didn't turn into Worldbreaker until, I don't know, way back here. I don't see how you got this many followers when it's so easy to prove you wrong. Part 13.
Does that mean Hulk can't be beat? Fuck no.
I don't think any of us have ever claimed that the Hulk can't be beat.
Does he get his ass handed to him?
Y'all remember in the earlier video where I said this man will hold on to one random thing and just use it to fit whatever narrative he's trying to push? This is the second time we've called this out. Check this.
Say that Hulk beats Superman. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't like defending Superman, like, at all. I actually hate Superman a lot. Oh, Jesus Christ. Isn't Hulk the same guy that consistently loses to the likes of base Thanos in hand-to-hand combat?
Guys, he's referring to the base Thanos that can take punches from the champion of the universe while the champion of the universe is wearing the Power Stone. You know, the Infinity Stone that gives you infinite power. He's talking about the base Thanos that is so powerful that a clone of himself was able to subjugate Mangog, a creature who is so powerful that he soloed the entirety of Asgard's armies on multiple occasions and has had Odin shitting in his throne for hundreds of thousands of years. He is talking about the same base Thanos that has literally beat the shit out of everybody in Marvel of note. Like he talking about the same base Thanos that put hands on Blue Marvel, Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel, all of the Guardians of the Galaxy, Hyperion, Silver Surfer, Adam Warlock, Thor, while he was amped up 10 times his normal strength, speed, and durability, and while Thor was wielding the Power Stone. He's talking about a base Thanos that was able to fight Odin. You know, Odin, the king of Asgard, a guy who is so strong that his punches can shake the multiverse. You know, Odin, a guy who was so strong that Dormammu compared his power to his own. And yeah, even though Odin definitely did beat Thanos, Odin had to fucking work for it, and even commended Thanos' abilities in that fight after he defeated him. So yeah, he talking about that base Thanos. The same base Thanos that would beat Superman's fucking ass. He's talking about that guy. And again, the thing that makes all of this so fun is every time somebody says that the Hulk can beat Superman, Buddy keeps going to an old version of the Hulk. It ain't like we even talking, he not even talking about the current Hulk, because the current Hulk hasn't fought Thanos. Because if the current Hulk fought the same version of Thanos that beat the Hulk before, the current Hulk would stomp his shit. So, you know, finding a time and trying to use that time to fit whatever narrative you're trying to push. Sir, gonna make an example out your ass. Since in one of your examples you wanted to use Goku and Boruto, let's use Goku. If Goku is facing off against somebody in base form and hits them so hard that the shockwaves from his punch destroys the planet next to them, that's a feat, right? Now, if we know that in this fight, while Goku was in base form, that during this fight, he had access to Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan God Kaioken, Ultra Instinct, and Mastered Ultra Instinct. If we knew for a fact that Goku had access to all of that extra power, but was only able to blow up a planet that was next to them with the shockwaves of his punch, because he was in base form, is it not common sense to say that had Goku transformed or been stronger, that he could have achieved a bigger feat? Then wouldn't it have made sense to, I don't know, then say, had it been Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku fighting, he would have absolutely achieved a bigger feat, because we know for a fact how much more powerful Master Ultra Instinct Goku is than base Goku. You see how all that makes sense? So you would understand as to why all that shit you said made absolutely no sense. Because if we were going to take the current Hulk, who is far stronger than the Hulk who achieved that feat, the difference would literally be base Goku to Mastered Ultra Instinct. That is the difference between the Hulk who accomplished that feat and the current Hulk. Wouldn't it make sense that the man could achieve a greater feat if he was stronger? So, I don't know, man. Maybe instead of getting in people's comments and just trying to prove somebody wrong, I don't know, man. Maybe you talk less, research more. Have a good day.